It's Friday, August the 11th, and this is your Barbados Today morning news update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, Prime Minister Stuart finally meets this morning with the full social partnership to examine the controversial National Social Responsibility Levy, which last month saw thousands of people protesting through the streets of the city in an effort to have such a meeting. The meeting that involved the labor movement and the private sector will also discuss the 2% imposition on foreign exchange transactions announced in the May 30th budget presented by Minister of Finance Chris Sinclair as part of government's austerity measures. Our Ryan Jilts reports.
Chamber of Commerce and Industry President Eddie Abed says he doesn't expect an immediate resolution, but he believes the meeting, to be nationally televised, sets the framework for what the private sector views as some of the vexing issues. The business community has been very anxious and optimistic about the talks, and Abed says if no result comes, absolutely everyone will have had the chance to air their concerns and work towards the results in the coming weeks. Diplomacy aside, the chairman of the Barbados Private Sector Association, Charles Herbert, says the BPSA will be pressing for dialogue on a medium-term fiscal strategy for the country, adding that he didn't believe dialogue could happen all in one day. Meantime, President of the National Union of Public Workers, Akani McDowell, says he's ready for this morning's talks, stating that the union will defend their position anywhere in any forum. McDowell said his main priority is to defend the position of the public servants to the best of his ability. Ryan Jilts for Barbados Today.
Thanks, Ryan. There's support, meanwhile, for a call by the National Union of Public Workers for a national discussion on crime and violence. The backing comes from the president of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Eddie Abed. Abed suggests that in the face of the upsurge in gun crimes, any effort to address the problem is welcomed.
I do echo the General Secretary's comments that if this is what's necessary, then we in the Chamber will be all for it, because crime is bad for business. There's no other way to sell it. So we will be very keen to see this matter not only aired, but solutions brought about and put into place as soon as possible. We're going into a season in another 2 months. We can't have these dark clouds of crime hanging over us. This is just not good for the country as a whole, and of course not good for us, the opportunity for us to earn more foreign exchange.
On Wednesday, NUPW General Secretary Rosalind Smith said she had presented the idea to Prime Minister Stuart ahead of today's meeting of the Social Partnership. In other news now, attorney-at-law and social activist David Comonshong is charging that government and developers of the Hyatt Centric Hotel are tag-teaming him in the judicial review he has brought against Prime Minister Stuart over his decision to grant planning approval for the construction of the multi-million-dollar hotel project on Bay Street. According to Comonshong, the case, which continued yesterday before Justice Sonia Richards at the No. 9 Supreme Court, was adjourned until Wednesday following oral submissions by attorneys for Hyatt developers Barry Gale QC and the Prime Minister's lawyer Hal Gollop QC. However, the outspoken social activist has categorized yesterday's arguments as a tag-team effort between the state and the developers, explaining that both Gollop and Gale are maintaining that he, Comonshong, does not have the legal standing to challenge the Prime Minister's decision. Chief Executive Officer of Supreme Counseling for Personal Development, Sean Clark, wants less talk and more action from government when it comes to helping the island's youth. He suggests that young people are in crisis and the current talk shop mentality that exists has to be discarded. Clark told Barbados Today government needs to make haste and put the necessary programs in place for the young people.
We need to stop talking and we need to become a community of doers. I think we procrastinate too much. We are a very reactive society, and in order for us to deal with what is happening and to try to curtail and to pull back what is happening, we need to become extremely proactive. I think that government needs to start working with NGOs, with charities that are out there already offering services, instead of trying to reinvent the wheel. Provide the charities with what they need, whether it is financial or technical services, technical support. let the NGOs and the NGOs and charities, let them do the job.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Who calling? Get your yams and potatoes. Wait, my girl, how you want you for long?
I get how you keeping, but you don't sell the nation paper no more.
But that paper ain't selling. This month now I stop selling that. Look, one time I would have make a little dollar on the Sunday sun. But when Sunday night, I still trying to get the weather there.
Well, you know you can't call that the Sunday sun no more. You're going to call that sunset news. Because at night time that news stale.
People complain that them ain't got nothing in it to read and the price keep going up all the time. A woman abused me so sick the other day, telling me that she just read Barbados today online for free. I can't take that abusing soul, so I switched to my potatoes and yams.
Well, let me tell you, if pork selling, you got to raise pigs. How much for the yams?
4.75 cents a pound.
But that's cheaper than that stale news. Give me...
How much you want?
A pound.
Only a pound? Anyhow, these eating real good. Let me wrap them up for you. Come.
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional developments now, a Trinidadian transit police officer has found herself in hot water following a suggestive photo making the rounds on social media. The officer has been suspended from duty pending an investigation into the matter, with police officials saying the situation is unfortunate.
The officer was served with a document for which she will cease to perform duties as a special reserve police officer pending the outcome of the investigation.
Pear said that the incident is being looked at as an isolated one, but they're open to structural changes if a need is found.
What I will say is that the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service constantly reviews any procedure that we have, and if necessary, we would make the recommendations to make any differences.
Pear added that the investigation includes all aspects of the photo's existence, including other people who may have been present, the person who took the photo, and the person responsible for its release into the public domain.
And on the global front, ominous warnings have emerged from the State of the Climate 2016 report issued by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. We get the details in this CNN report.
From melting glaciers to disappearing snow cover, shrinking sea ice, and rising sea level, scientists say it's all evidence of a rapidly warming planet. In the most comprehensive draft of a U.S. government report on climate change, scientists conclude record-breaking climate-related weather extremes are undoubtedly linked to climate change. Humans are responsible, and if no action is taken, the impact will be deadly. Catherine Hayhoe, a climate scientist at Texas Tech University, is one of the lead authors of the report.
It's like now we've gone to the doctor, and the doctor has done an X-ray of our lungs and sees some worrying spots on our lungs and calls us in and says, some of this damage is irreversible, but the worst consequences can be avoided if we act now. That's what this report is.
The draft report, reviewed by 13 government agencies, is mandated by Congress every 4 years. It says 15 of the last 16 years are the warmest years on record. Human activities, especially emissions of greenhouse gases, are primarily responsible for the observed climate changes over the last 15 decades. Intensity of heavy precipitation and extreme heat events are increasing and will very likely continue.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, or screenplay at supermarkets and the gas stations near you, as well as Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.